Here are 5 wide receiver busts, and you won't want to miss the last one. Let's start out with Stefon Diggs of the Houston Texans. Now, the ADP for Diggs is going just outside the top 15 receivers. Here's the problem. The fantasy community has decided that Nico Collins is the number 2 and Stefon Diggs is the number 1 based on ADP. Of course, Diggs was the clear number 1 in Buffalo since 2021. But now, like we said, Collins is there, Tank Dell is there. The last 3 years, Stefon Diggs has averaged 159 targets. Yet, in 2 of those 3 years, Diggs was right around 105 catches, 1,200 yards, 9 touchdowns. Those numbers are great, but for 159 targets, maybe not. Remember, the days of Diggs dominating target share like that in Houston seem to be gone. This is an offense in Houston. They will throw, but this is not an overly pass-heavy attack. I think it'd be foolish for the team to take Collins out of the number 1 role for 1 year. Diggs' contract expires and move Collins back. That makes no logical sense. So realistically, we're going to see Diggs go from 160 or so targets, probably down anywhere in the 100 to 110 range. That is a massive drop in volume, yet the ADP does not reflect where Diggs will likely end up. Number 2, Deebo Samuel of the San Francisco 49ers. Now, Samuel is going right about wide receiver 15 in drafts, and look, it's very unlikely we're going to see that version of Samuel in which he dominated in that 2021 career year. In that season, Deebo Samuel had 1,700 scrimmage yards, 14 touchdowns. Last 2 years, he's averaging less than 1,000 scrimmage yards, and he's been banged up some. Durability is a concern. Now, he did play 16 games in 2021, but he's missed a total of 16 games between 2020, 2022, and 2023. Now, in terms of talent, we know Samuel is a unique superstar player. 98th percentile yards after the catch last year. That shows us who he is. Here's the problem. Deebo Samuel's touches per game were a 3-year low. The former South Carolina player, 2.46 carries and 5.9 targets. If you're paying wide receiver 15 prices for that low of volume, that is not going to end up well on a week-to-week basis. Number 3, Cooper Kupp of the Los Angeles Rams. Now, Kupp is going right around the bottom of the top 24 receivers in average drafts, and we know last year, at the beginning of the season, was injury plagued. He missed 4 games, went on the PUP list. When he came back, Cooper Kupp, first 2 games, elite level. And then Cooper Kupp had a 6-game stretch where he averaged 26 yards and scored 1 touchdown. We saw him perk up a bit. Weeks 14 and 15, goes over 110 yards and a touchdown. We thought it was back. And then when the Rams needed Kupp the most, last 3 games, including the NFL playoff game, Kupp averaged 35 yards while Puka Nacua was dominating. Look, we love Cooper Kupp. He's had an amazing career. Maybe he'll be healthy. He's going to be 31 this year, but it really looks like at the end of the season, Puka Nacua, at the very least, took a lot of the potential volume going Kupp's way, and the torch may have been completely passed. Gambling on Kupp that high seems to be a big overreach. Xavier Worthy, wide receiver 39 off the board from the Seattle Seahawks. Now, Xavier Worthy for the NFL, he is going to be a great player. His speed is very likely going to open up defenses for the Chiefs. The Chiefs have had to really keep that depth of target and pass by Patrick Mahomes low the last couple of years. Having Xavier Worthy and Marquise Brown adds an element of speed that's going to challenge those defenses. So we can see the Chiefs airing out. Here's the problem. Worthy's role most likely is going to be open it up for Kelsey and Marquise Brown, and at some point, Rashee Rice. Worthy's 5'11", 165. It's a very slight player. Probably not going to see a ton of targets. Certainly don't want him over the middle. So I think he'll see situational deep threats. But going that high in drafts, I think it's going to be a lot of low target games, couple games where he gets a few catches, but I don't think there's any world on a week-to-week basis Worthy meets that ADP. Number 5, Rome Odunze of the Chicago Bears. Now, Odunze is going off the board in drafts about wide receiver 40, and I think we need to learn from the situation in Seattle last year. Jackson Smith-Njigba was drafted by the Seahawks, and they had DK Metcalf, and they had Tyler Lockett. Shane Waldron was the offensive coordinator. Well, guess who the coordinator in Chicago is? Shane Waldron. He has DJ Moore, he has Keenan Allen, and he has Rome Odunze. Now, Odunze is a different player than Smith-Njigba. Smith-Njigba is a big slot, and we know Odunze is going to win anywhere, but he's really an outside guy. But here's the point. Last year in Seattle, we saw the star veterans get about 150 more snaps than Smith-Njigba had. That seems to be a very logical crossover for Rome Odunze. So Rome Odunze, we might see him in a 640 snap area. We might see him in that 80 to 90 target range. DJ Moore is a proper alpha, Keenan Allen, he could get hurt, and that could help Odunze. But if he's on the field, he's in the command target. So it's not about Odunze's talent. It's about a similar situation with the same offensive coordinator. Very unlikely to move him to the top of the chain where the Bears are loaded at their top 2 receivers.
If you enjoy videos like this, please consider hitting the like button and subscribe to the new RotoWire Fantasy Football channel.